It is an incredible gift of generosity, donating one's body for scientific research. So imagine the horror to learn that your loved one's body instead was being brokered like car parts. Lisa Guerrero reports.
It's just horrifying.
Imagine having your loved one's remains cremated and then finding out that the ashes might belong to a total stranger.
I have no idea what's in here.
There's no knowledge of what's in that box.
Nobody knows what's in their box.
All these folks say their relatives' bodies were desecrated after they were donated to medical research.
She's just not a body part.
Until seeing this FBI raid on the news showing authorities wheeling out bags of body parts, many of these families had no idea their loved ones had actually been chopped up and sold for huge profits. The illegal body broker business was being operated out of this unassuming building behind me. Records show that over 20,000 body parts were being distributed here, and you won't believe where some of them ended up. At a Department of Defense testing facility in Virginia, like this one.
They used him as a crash test dummy for military testing.
Jill Hansen says her late husband wanted to donate his body to medical research, not to be blown to bits.
I was devastated.
And Jim Stauffer breaks down, describing how his mother's body, originally meant to be donated only for Alzheimer's research, also ended up there.
This whole ordeal taints what is supposed to be some type of closure in your life.
How many of you feel like your family's remains were desecrated?
What they did was disgusting.
This is the man they say is responsible, Steve Gore.
My name is Steve Gore, Director of Biological Resource Center.
When authorities shut down Gore's Biological Resource Center in Phoenix, they found coolers packed with 10 tons of human remains. He even had a price list. A head, $500. A leg, $600. An entire body, as much as $10,000.
Personally, I think it's disgusting.
Dr. Chris Sakalis is the CEO of Syndaver, the only company in the world that makes these synthetic cadavers that are used as an alternative for scientific research on real bodies. How crucial is the consent process when it comes to a loved one considering donating their loved one's body to science?
Well, it's absolutely vital. If you don't want to end up being shipped to the four corners of the earth.
Unlike organ donations, there are few regulations on the trade in other body parts. Selling parts for profit isn't illegal, but it is illegal to mishandle those remains.
It's really body snatching without even having to dig up the graves.
Attorney Michael Berg represents all these victims. Although they signed consent forms, he says they never realized the bodies would be butchered for parts and sold off.
They lied to him.
Gore pleaded guilty to a felony charge of mishandling human remains. Although he was sentenced to 12 months, it was suspended and he hasn't served a day in jail. I caught up with him when he stopped for gas.
I'd like to ask you about your illegal body brokering business. Were you desecrating those bodies, sir?
I was not.
What would you like to say to the victims' families?
He drove away.
It just breaks my heart.
Experts say donations are important and do save lives, but they suggest that families ask specific questions to be sure they're comfortable with how their loved ones' bodies will be used.